Final word.
But shout out to Washington. They did us a huge favor, man.
Washington.
Yeah.
Were you not entertained?
Yes, indeed.
I knew it was going to
Blueprint, baby.
Blue. Ooh. Say listen.
Say less.
Flame for that.
Yoga fire.
Yeah.
Yoga flame.
Man, let me get this
Final
time on.
word.
We got. There it is. Countdown.
Come on with it.
Yeah, man. So. I can't wait to talk to you boys today.
Well, I hate losing
final word.
more than I love winning, huh?
Yeah.
The final word.
A lot to talk about.
I can't wait to kick it off with the big homie. Ooh, wait.
Oh, I can't. I want to. We gonna talk.
I can tell my boy want to try me. I can feel it. What I say, dog? What I say? What I say, bro? What I say?
The final word.
Did I say something, bro?
Word.
Did I get a
Final
prediction
word.
off?
Well,
The final word.
Okay,
The final
good.
gotta
word.
be
Long
in it to
too.
win it.
That boy say long too.
We was already talking on Twitter.
Okay.
We got the big dog in
Man,
the
let
house.
me go over to y'all
You know.
Twitter, bro.
Huh?
The final word.
I'm going over to y'all Twitter now. Shit, you got me curious. Keep talking.
Stay alone. Let's talk about time possession. Kellen Moore.
Oh,
The
yeah.
T.O.P.
Oh, you up my lane now,
Oh
baby.
yeah, that's
Oh yeah, I know.
that's the rudiments of this conversation.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Hey, Law, the word on the street
Anything
is you've
win.
been very angry, bro. Is that true?
Hell yeah. If it's any team, the Cowboys supposed to beat would be Green Bay.
I'm gonna ask questions. That's all. I'm gonna ask questions.
Let me turn this down, so wow. Say,
Ask
bro,
questions.
the Twitter streets been talking. They've been saying that boy Law Nation has been upset.
Yoga fire. Yoga
Are
flame.
we supposed to be happy about that?
No,
It seems
man.
it
Hey, man.
appears.
Hey, man, you ain't have to check me, Law. Law
Yeah.
try to check you, boy. Hey, man, my bad, big dog. My bad, big dog.
The final word.
All right,
When you
my
pray
bad,
for rain,
bro,
you gotta
my
deal with the
bad.
mud too.
The final word.
Oh, shit.
The final word.
That's why I like Denzel in that movie. You saw how cool and calm he was, but then they just kept pushing him. They kept
And then
pushing him.
bam. Say, Law, have we been pushing you, bro?
Oh, no, y'all too straight. Y'all too
No,
straight.
I ain't talking about. No, I know we straight. I'm talking about Cowboy Nation. You hear me?
Oh my gosh, man. I just want common sense football. That's all I want.
Okay.
Common sense.
Yeah. So I can't wait to talk, man. I can't wait. Whew. It's gonna be a good day, man. Good final word. Let's get it, y'all. It's gonna be a
Great
good one. It's gonna be a good one. I can't wait. Y'all boys got me so curious on what it seems like it's some pent up
The final
emotions,
word.
some pent up thoughts. We gotta get it out. Huh?
What?
Get it out.
All right, let's get it out.
Let's get it.
All right, so we got the final word, man.
The final word.
Game 9 reactions with Green Bay and
The
Game
final
10
word.
preparation, bro.
Yeah.
So we finna give it to y'all, man. Y'all already know. Y'all come on in the building. All right, let me get that little box out of here and we go crank it out.
Let's get it. And let
go.
them wait.
Let them wait, dog.
The final word.
The
All
final
right, man.
word.
Let's kick it off. Y'all already know, man.
Final
Let's head to the
word.
tunnel.
The final word.
To the tunnel. To the tunnel. Yeah, let's go.
Maybe I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. Wanna, I've been really in the field, like
Yes.
I love the field lately. I just wanna run it up.
Run it.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have
Yep.
to take it to a meal lately. I just wanna run it up.
Ow! Man, let's go. Come on now.
Kinda check us on. Lately, I just
Boy, that Green Bay better not have y'all tripping in the streets. Come on now. Y'all better get up in here, man. Come on.
Get on up, baby.
Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I
Man,
need that change.
I'm over that Green Bay, man. The emotions is over.
Greens and pinks is
Let's
all
go.
the same. I still sit and roll my change. Take some
On
losses
to the
when I
next.
play. Charge it to the game.
To the
I'm
game.
with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chucky now. Still the same, I switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
Yep.
You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer.
I see y'all in the building. Troop, Smoking Trip. Big Gill, Sin City. Pastor Tell. Marcus Chuck. Troop. B-Rob. The Nose. Marcus John. Aaron. Let's go, man.
Yeah, Cowboys culture, the Ninja, Pee Wee, Dreads, B-Rob, Rev Rebel with the $2
get
holla.
into it,
Appreciate you.
Uh-oh.
Pleasure Wilson, Steve Lumpton, Spiffy OC. Oh, the OC. And Mike Glenn, G21. What's up, OC? He jumping in early.
Early.
LL Cool
As early as I
J
can,
is
baby.
hard as hell.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Law, what you seeing on your channel, man?
Oh, shout out to James Simmons, Swain and Thing, Stephen White, David Moore, Rev Rebel. Appreciate you for the super chat already. Nicole Thompson and more, man. Hey, let's get this party going. Let's get it.
Yoga, fire!
Well, you
Yoga,
want the party
flame.
going. Kick it off, Big.
All right, I'm not gonna say a lot in the beginning. What I want you to do, if you can, I'm gonna listen a little bit, but I am gonna do some challenging. I'm gonna jump out there challenging some first. Feel me?
All right.
But if you could pull up my Twitter right quick, boss, I really appreciate if you could do that. For
I
me
got it up
quick so
right
we can all
here,
see
big
that.
dog.
You got it up, or you got it up right here for me, dog.
Yeah, I got it right here, bro.
Almighty
Twitter ready to go, man. Let's go. What's up?
All right, go right over to my Twitter and scroll down. Just want to give y'all some props. This is about the Kellen Moore thing, because y'all be on him. I know you said the dog.
Where's that, though,
listening
bro?
to it.
Where's that?
Keep going.
Okay,
Keep scrolling
going.
down.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right.
Keep going. I like that right there.
That boy been
I think
busy.
go up.
Well, that boy been
Yeah,
tweeting.
he been
That boy been
tweeting.
That boy been in his
Go up.
feelings. Go up some? All
Nah,
right.
not in my feelings. Go up.
Oh, nah. You never in your feelings.
Okay, right here. Okay, right here. This is why I'm gonna give you some props. Because me and Law was going back and forth. He would say that's bad coaching, because Dallas had like I think it was like what was it, 79 plays. Green Bay had like 61. It was one of that number was an 18 play difference, and the time of possession was in Green Bay's favor by 5 minutes. And it was 22 passes in that fourth quarter when they was down 28-14. Dallas threw the ball a little bit too much, right? So I was debating it, because I'm like, when we was in that OT, you know what I'm saying? He was running the ball, you know what I mean? He got 2 called back that got first downs, and he didn't throw them. He ran them, but then on the third down, he threw it. He could have ran it 2 down territory, you feel me? So I was going back and forth debating. But so I went and looked. I actually called that Washington win yesterday. I said they're going to win on the upset if
You
they
did.
stuck with that run game.
You sure
And I
did.
said it.
Uh-oh.
I said the game before, when they played them the first time, I said if they stuck with the run game, they would beat them. They didn't. They deviated and they got smacked. So this time they came in this game. So this is what I tweeted right quick, because when Dallas played with Cooper Rush, that's when they lost their first game with Cooper Rush. He threw 38 times. Dallas ran I think it was like 26 times, something like
Right.
that. And they lost by 7. We're still in the game. Washington comes in Philadelphia and beats them. They ran 49 times, passed
Yeah.
29 times. They won with the backup as well. So that's why I said apologies to Cowboys Nation. Sometimes this is why I say Kellen Moore gets too pass happy at the wrong times. And I said I can own that one, because me and Law was going back and forth. So I had to go back and look. In this game where I seen where Washington just beat them, and they stayed with the run 49 times, even though they didn't have crazy numbers with the run. If you look at their numbers per average, they weren't crazy numbers, but they stayed with it. They wore the Eagles defense down, And at the end, they did get a little bit of luck in there, but they were able to pull out the victory by doing those type of things.
Man, let me do this right quick.
Yeah, me too. No, let me jump in. Let me jump in too, bro. God, dog.
There'll be challenges later.
That boy good. That boy good.
That boy good because if anybody can play
challenges later.
poker, if y'all
Hold
don't
on,
know,
hold
Big Game James, man, he'll take all of my money, man, because I was sitting there like, man, let me get my mind right, man, for the opening argument because he didn't give no indication, y'all, that I thought that he was red hot, you know? I thought I'd
me
spit
too,
on
me
his
too.
granddaddy grave or something, you know?
Me
but
too.
Big Game James, man,
Yeah.
salute to you, bro, because I look
Salute,
at this
bro.
game as a game within the game. And Coach Marv been banging on the table about this. You win the time of possession on the road anywhere or best way possible because what you want to do is shorten the game and you want to play keep away, especially when you're on the road, play the field, run the ball, and the Washington team stuck to their guns and they ran the ball, and then eventually more mistakes will happen when you do other things, but less mistakes happen when you run the ball. So I shout out to you, Big Game James, boy. I didn't know where you was going with it.
Yeah, that boy had me scared for a minute. I'm like, man, what's this boy talking about? Man? That boy scroll down.
I was never scared.
Scroll up. I'm like, wait, whoa.
Now, get in the chopper.
What law do, bro? I was like, we finna fuss that law. What's going on? All right, so I'm gonna be honest, bro. This is the type of stuff you never want to say kind of publicly because people try to use it against you in the court of a public opinion. Mm-hmm. But this is definitely a good loss. This is a good loss. I didn't want to lose. I hate Green Bay. Let me be very clear on that. I hate Green Bay. But see, the pattern of Kellen Moore needed to be obvious. You know what I'm saying? And every game that he come out pass happy, we lose. So I would say it like this. If I look at it in hindsight, just keeping it real. That's why when we won against New England last year, it was actually bad. Because in his mind, he looking, just hear me out. Because it gives him excuses when he win a big game, throwing like that, to then try to spring it on you at the most inappropriate moments. Because he'll use one-time winning as justifying to keep doing it.
Right.
So, I'm disappointed in the loss, but I'm excited about the Kellen Moore exposure.
Well,
So let me
I'll
ask you
say
this.
something,
Go
Jizz.
ahead. My bad.
Go ahead,
Go
Big.
ahead, OC. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Big. I'll wait.
I was just gonna say this, boss. So you didn't like this game that he called in this game at all?
I like some of it. I can tell you the parts that
Yeah,
I like. The conversions,
That fourth, the OT, the overtime drive, right?
the last drive.
What didn't you like about that drive?
I didn't like that when they knew they was going for it on 3rd and 4th that they passed. Because every time, literally every time they pass, 2 times in a row we punted.
Yeah.
I double checked it. If you go to ESPN play-by-play and look at it, I can pull it up right now. Every time he got pass happy, we paid for it.
Yeah.
Every time. Not even sometime. Every time.
And let me slide this one in too. Dak Prescott was averaging right at 5 yards to 5.5 yards per pass. We were averaging literally more yards running the ball than we were passing the ball. So the efficiency level, in my opinion, would have been to run the ball. Now, I do know on the road, the Cowboys and everything with the aficionados, we're going to get hosed. That's a given, right? But they can't call holding every time. And the Cowboys proved it. Like, they were able to rev back up after a pass. But what happened here is that they would shy away from the run. They would either run it on first down, get a yard, or get 2 yards. Now it's 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 9, and they get back to passing. I would prefer to run it on 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. Maybe, just maybe, you can get that 5 yards, and now you can have 3rd and short juxtaposed to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. You see? So that's what I look at it with Dak Prescott. His efficient level at throwing the ball is cool. But the law of diminishing rates of return settles in when he gets over 26 to 27 attempts. In my opinion, I like Dak Prescott, but I just don't want him throwing the ball all the time.
And I want to say something about that too. That's also all quarterbacks, by the way.
True.
Because, you know, and I know Law know that. He knows that. But some fans, they starting to get a little bit too cute with that. They talking like, well, Dak can't throw 40 because he go choke it on you. Dude, nobody should be throwing into a 10th ranked defense, right? Secondary 40 times. Nobody.
Hey, 27
You
ranked
gonna pay.
rushing defense. So, hey, man, play the favors, man. Play into the strength of your team versus the weakness of theirs.
So my question is, so was it it was at the inopportune time then, because he had two in that drive, again in that OT drive. I believe it was more runs than passes, and the two that got called back. Well, first of all, who called Jalen Tolbert in the game, who's a rookie, who ain't got no kind of tick, right? No kind of tick. But he's in there in the OT game, and one of the biggest plays in the game, he's in there and he makes that mistake. Why is he in there? Who sent him in there?
It goes to show Kellen Moore is coloring with crayons sometimes. Just being honest. This is very childish play calling. This is very childish personnel decisions. This is childish. And let's just all be honest. We not seeing Tolbert because of these option route systems. The bag is out. It's just we go all say it together that his system is too complicated. See, because Law, he exposed this a little while ago, but I think this week put it all together, Law. Law been saying this for a minute. I'm going to remind what Law been saying. He been saying, what's going on with the interception rate when Dak is targeting CD Lamb? Now we know.
Yeah.
Can I play it real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to play it real quick. It's going to come from Shannon Sharp.
Ooh.
All right. And I got a lot of, you already know where I'm going, don't you?
Yeah. Ooh, that's good stuff, man. I had to give Shay Sharp his props. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we got a lot of evidence
Where he
on
was
this.
talking about CD Lamb.
Yep. And
But
he's
before
option
you
routes.
go there, Boss Cowboy, before you go there, let me just say something real quick that I think will help put some of this in context, because I've been doing a lot of thinking and observation about Kellen Moore, right?
Okay.
And about the subconscious level of what he does. I think vicariously, he's trying to compete against great quarterbacks in these big games. And that's why he gets into overpassing the ball. Think back to when we played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what happened in the meltdown, right? 2 years in a row almost, right? And now he gets into a big game with Aaron Rodgers. Is he subconsciously trying to compete against these guys through his quarterbacks and through his play calling versus just being efficient and calling a proper game? He's trying to prove he's a big shot versus the big time players in certain teams. That's just an opinion of mine.
I think he's trying to get a job. I think it's his ultimate selfishness. Because we all kicking around and spitballing theories of why he keep doing this at this point. Right? But that would be my theory.
Do you feel like he got to do it with Dak? Do you feel like he has to do it, or did he?
I think he's trying
because
to go back to the days.
Cooper Rush?
I'm being honest, and he did do it with Cooper Rush when we lost against Philly.
But not to. I know he did in Philly. I'm saying he did in Philly. But what I'm saying is, do you feel like because he has Dak and he has a quote unquote franchise quarterback, does that you feel like give him more the urge to throw the ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cause see, he crazy. I'm just gonna say it. He's a crazy dog.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, he crazy. Listen, he did this with DiNucci.
Get him.
He did that with DiNucci, man. He did it with Gilbert. He does it with everybody. He was only forced to run the ball with Cooper Rush. And the moment they let that dog loose, he went ape crazy. Soon as he got any little deficit, he just can't help it, bro. Man. He just can't. And I'm never trusting him. I'm sorry. I'm being real. You can't continue to lose the same way,
Right.
when you've been winning the same way.
Right.
You got all these wins with a backup, and then you say, you know what I'm gonna do? Opposite of what was working, bruh.
Right.
Nah, I ain't feeling you, bruh. That's why I think he trying to get a job. Because remember what was happening last year. What was they saying? He's genius. Kellen Moore, he's the next head coach for a year. What does that equate to?
Yeah.
Ching ching. Money. You know what I'm saying? This is about money, man. And I think that dude being selfish. I'm just being so real. You know what I'm saying? Because look, and it's obvious, he not only passing too much, he passing at the wrong times. And he been doing it since Tampa.
Yeah.
And the only times he don't do it is when they tie his hands and they lock him down. That's the only time.
Kid down.
The moment they give him any amount of freedom, he go crazy.
And he don't
And
run
it's
with
obvious.
a purpose. It's not a setup of like, even with the running plays. It's like, I'm only running to hit a quota. He kind of reminds me. I was on the road.
Yeah.
I was on the road. I drove to Mississippi, all up through Mississippi. Came back to Texas, and you know how you see those police officers just waiting in the lowdown, and they just trying to catch somebody for a quota. That's Kellen Moore. He runs for the quota. He don't runs for the purpose. You know, and I'm tired of it. But
yeah, he run to get it out the way.
Get it out of the way.
No, he run to get it out the way. Yup.
Hitting his quota.
Yeah, and you know, listen, y'all. It's not even just him running. See, and he knows better. Y'all hear me out. He knows better. He said himself, Kellen Moore said himself, that he knows from a big picture perspective that you have to protect the strongest part of this team, which is the defense.
Yeah.
So, all we got to go do, just keeping it real, is let's look at this. There is no way you come out in the first series like he did in a hurry-up offense, no huddle, go 3 and out, then you watch your defense stay on the field for 10 plays, 8 of them, they ran it in a row on your D. Your D tired, dog. You know what he does? He comes right there again in another hurry-up offense, throwing it, and then three and out, and put them back out there for 7 more plays where they kept pounding your D.
Yeah. And explain to them the weather. What was the weather like too? You know, it was cold.
Oh,
hey, you played
the
ball.
weather itself said, yeah, the weather, everything said run the ball. See, Law, I know where you going with that. The weather said run the ball. They was ranked 26 going into that game on run D. That said run the ball. It was 10th in pass defense. That said run the ball. All indicators said run the ball, and that dude came out in a hurry-up offense throwing. And that is a fact, dog. And they kept putting that defense out there, and that's why they couldn't stop the run. Because we all know them big boys get tired. We all played ball, and we know that. We know if you keep putting big boys out there, especially in the trenches when it's physical, 10 plays in a row, and then 7 plays in a row, they already gassed. That's your play calling, and it was dumb. And I'm just keeping it real. Because, and see, dog, this is the thing that pissed me off the most, and I'm just keeping it all the way real. This is what pisses me off the most. This is what pisses me all the way off. When Aaron was so freaking unselfish that even when they was winning on the ground, you know what Aaron said when they called a pass play for him and it wasn't working? He looked right at his head coach. He said, "Run the effing ball." Now, we talking about this dude is the GOAT arm talent, hands down. Maybe you can put Mahomes in that debate, but from a career, he has the most arm talent of any quarterback to ever play, and he said, "Don't use me."
Yep. Preach, man.
Because we winning on the ground. And Kellen Moore didn't know to do that? Listen, y'all. I'm sorry for being so animated, but it pissed me off.
I went over my curse quota for this month already.
You did? I hate I missed it. Ooh, I hate I missed it, man. But this is also like Kellen Moore did do some good things.
He did.
See, this ain't about just shooting them down. Let me tell you what he did that was good, though. I could tell you what he did that was bad, but I also want to say what he did that was good. On every 3rd and 1, he went with a high probability play, and that's something he's never done. He QB sneaked on every one of them, and he converted every one of them. That's what led to them points. Because usually what he does on 3rd and short, and I documented each one.
Outside.
Oh, see, didn't I go through each one?
Yeah.
I went through each one all the way back to Tampa, looking at his tendencies. And the tendencies early was he would pass. He got spanked, especially publicly by Bobby Belt, when he talked about you played yourself, because he started getting cute versus Detroit, where he was running, but he was running tosses, and he was doing it with the wrong people. You was running tosses with Zeke, and then they stopped it. Then you run another toss on 3rd and short with Pollard. They stop it. It's like, why don't you go up the tackles?
Right.
Why don't you go with the high probability?
Yeah.
Then the next game versus Chicago, they did, and they converted 100%. This game, they also converted 100% of their 3rd and short. So, I mean, he wasn't just dog dookie, but you can't have this type of game plan for this type of elements with the weather, with this type of ranking that's already official on Green Bay. You just can't do it, and it's unacceptable. And he should have got chastised publicly. But hey, man, I'm all for that. So let me ask a question, since y'all want to talk about it. I got another question for y'all, unless you had something big.
Nah, I got nothing to say.
And this is the worst one.
I agree.
This is the worst one.
I agree.
The worst one to me was the last one. The last one. I got it right here. The 3rd down and the 4th down at the end, where you had this is 3rd down and you throwing it at the very end of the game. So yes, it was a pass interference, but your running game was working and you only needed a few yards. Plus you also, if you going for it on 4th down, you should have ran the ball twice. Especially in those elements, and especially because it
Can
was
I ask you
working.
something though,
Yeah.
boss? Let me ask you something. Rewind that, because I put this up. I want you to rewind that.
Which part?
Could
third or
Dak have
fourth
hit
down?
CD up here? The 4th down, right
Let
here.
Let me see.
Last play. Could Dak have hit CD right here? Was that? I know that was not obviously was not out as hot. Could he have hit him there though?
Well, it was bad route combinations on that big, because if you rewind it, boss, and you look at this, and this is what I was talking about last night. He doesn't have a hot read. Here we go. And you can say, you can pause it. Pause it. Okay. Look. In the flat, Pollard is not open. Gallup is just now getting his head around. Gallup is on, and Gallup, I mean, man, he's up and down. No offense to Gallup, I like Gallup, but he jogs this route. So if you rewind it to the beginning, you would see that he jogged this crossing route. He jogged it, man. He doesn't get out quick. Look at it.
Stop it right
He
there
ain't
though.
running full speed.
Stop it right there though. You had Dalton and CD again, but I'm saying before Dak got that pressure, and I see what you're saying, but how Pollard was coming in the flat, you had Gallup coming over in the crossing, but that top of that route where that linebacker was, could Dak have hit CD? Because it looked like there was an opening right there for him to hit that pass.
He would have had to let that go with pause it. Leave it right there, boss. He would have had to. He would have to do that with
But he had time to
Right
Yeah.
there. Right there.
here.
He would have to have threw it
Right,
right
there,
there.
but he could have threw it though.
Yeah, I think he could have threw
Yeah,
it. I think he could have tried to fit that in there.
He could have threw it though. He could have fit that in there.
Yeah, I
right?
do-
I'm
I
not
do
getting
think
on
so.
him, but
I
what
do
I'm
think
saying
so.
is he could have made that play right there. He could have made that play right there.
I agree. And My next question is, do you trust them?
Do you trust CD on that?
I trust him, but I'm gonna say something. I don't even like the
hold
route.
on. Think about what I'm saying, OC. Think about what you got. 3
nuts on the
interceptions
line.
off CD Lamb.
Nuts on the line right now.
Here's the thing,
No.
Here's the thing. It's a
Listen.
career day for him this game. If you've been going to him all game and this is a 4th down, you got to go to him, boss.
But this the problem.
But listen, but hold on. In hindsight, I'm gonna play devil's advocate big because all of his interceptions were in the middle of the field, right? So he would throw again technically into almost double coverage on a post when he has a defender right behind him. You don't know what CD go do. I trust Dak Prescott. I wasn't talking about CD Boss Cowboy. Okay, so on that, you got to do a better job to me as an offensive coordinator of having an outbreaking route. You had a cross. You had a bubble in the flat, and you had a post, and you had 2 goals, right? So you don't even have any quick outbreaking routes where Dak could get this ball out pretty quick if he had pressure. And that's the thing I don't like about his trips formation. It's predictable. Look, it's predictable.
He probably should have had Dalton Schultz do that out where he had CD
100%.
come in. He should have had that Dalton Schultz go do that out. Instead, you had the 2 routes coming into each other. He should have had Dalton go on that out and taking the man out, and that pass was there too. That play was there too.
He would have been open.
If he'd have broke, he would have
been wide open. He would have been open from the inside receiver if he ran that out. And even if he wanted to run a deep post and run a fade, okay, then fine. Let hot pockets get to the sticks, man, and hit him right there. It would have been a natural almost screen for him to be open, man. And I just don't like the route combinations. That's why I don't like that.
They too vertical,
check this
man.
out.
Yeah, I don't like that trips formation. I don't like it.
And so check this out. This is also a problem in addition to everything y'all saying. This is also a problem. This is Shannon Sharp from Undisputed, and I got plenty of evidence. Dak, McCarthy, all of them saying the exact same thing, and we go show it with the film. Here we go.
Let's get what I tell you happened yesterday. I said there's no way Dak Prescott is going to throw that ball on a post that flat with the safety standing there unless he's anticipating somebody crossing the safety's face. I said what's happening is that these guys are ad-libbing, and Dak is throwing in anticipation. Skip, the safety, I'm supposed to break the route at 10, but I see the safety at 10. Instead of me going 8, crossing his face, I go 12 behind him. Well, Dak's going to throw the ball because he's like, oh, yeah, he going to cut across his face. I'm going to hit him. Boom, touchdown. You go behind the safety. Dak hit the safety between the numbers. What? Skip, CeeDee Lamb has been a receiver far too long to keep making these blunders like this. Now, we just saw it last week against Chicago. He did the exact same thing and Eddie Jackson picked it. Bro, you cannot tie the quarterback up like that. He's dropping back, his back foot is hit. He said, I already know, I ain't know where in hell this man gonna cut behind the safety and leave me exposed like this. Don't show. I see CD go to him after the play like, bro, what? I see Dak to him talk on the sideline. So ain't no way 2 guys talk to, and you right. I'm like, been there, done that. You can't do the quarterback like that, Skip. You have to, even if you run into it, you can't leave the quarterback exposed because if you go behind him, he's going to hit the safety in the chest. Both times Dak hit the safety in the chest because he's anticipating the receiver crossing the safety's face.
Yep.
And those 2 turnovers, what did it do? Gave the Packers for it. It didn't give them. They drove the ball still. That 109, what'd you say it was, 197? That 197? What? The Cowboys had the 14-point lead going into the 4th quarter, including regular season and playoffs. No. 197?
195.
I can't remember the number. 595.
195.
So with all that being said,
I can't remember.
but Skip, it was early in the game.
It was way more than 197.
So with that being said, it was early in the game.
He don't even know.
Okay,
He
I
don't
get
even
that.
know.
The Cowboys
Sit
still
your
have a
butt down,
14-point lead.
All right, let me shut him off and let's go to our guys. Let's listen to our guys, courtesy of 105.3 The Fan. They came out with this yesterday. We got the link in the description. Here we go.
Everything was synchronized. Everyone was going to know their assignments. They were going to know what to do. You're going to have mishaps, but that was my biggest question. I'm like, why are these things happening to this high frequency with the amount of time that these 3 and this offense has played together? They're not brand new.
No, they're not brand new. I don't know that the interception of Lamb. I don't know if that was bad communication necessarily. Like, the communication was there. CD knew what he had to do. He just didn't do it. You know, I don't know that I would.
Well, he went upfield. Why did he go upfield versus cut it across? Let's hear from Dak with the explanation for the picks that led to 14 points after the game.
Yeah, I'd say definitely miscommunication. First one was to Schultz. Just kind of, he said he got knocked off his route in a sense, thinking he was going to cross face. They make a play. That's a huge play right there for us to go up 14. They stop us, so obviously get the turnover, and then they go score. And then, the second one, they score off of that one as well. And that was just miscommunication, similar to the one last week, honestly, just thinking he's going to cross face, him seeing something different, just making sure we get on the same page, and we're able to hit something very similar later in overtime.
Here's what Playmaker said real quick.
Playmaker.
That's on my guy, 88. If the center of the field is close, then 88 has to flatten that route across the safety's face. If it's cover 2 or split safeties, then you go up the field like Lamb did. That interception also, it's on the receiver, not Dak. Just trying to help everyone understand.
All right. Now, let's hear from Mike McCarthy real quick.
I got to say something.
Hold on real quick. And then we got you.
Your day? Middle read? Yeah, 2 shell post.
Did you see it like Dak saw it, or did you see it like CD saw it when you looked at it?
I saw it like Dak saw it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Big. Shit, that's the big part. I saw it like Dak saw it. But go ahead.
You said something on your tweet, boss, and I want to ask you something. How you said Dak never throws anybody under the bus, and I feel you. But is it throwing you under the bus sometimes when you just got to say, "Hey, man"?
I said he didn't that time. Not
okay. Okay. Because sometimes I feel like Dak I get it, Dak, but sometimes you need to be like, hey, man, you need to do the route.
Yeah, bro.
You need to do the right damn thing. That's what you need to do right there.
Bro.
Because you know what? Because if he don't say that to him, he going to keep doing it. Say something to this motherfucker and make him say, hey, you know what? You got to start doing that. You got to make that play. If he gets butt hurt, that's his fault. That's his fault. Because we all seeing you're the one that's making the mistake on that. And it's making it look like people are in the streets. First thing they want to do is blame Dak. Because before I initially saw it, I'm like, come on, Dak.
Yeah, all of us.
After you see it and when you first initially see it, but then when you watch the tape and you look at it, you're like, man, come on, dog. Why are you doing that? So sometimes I feel like Dak, I feel him, I get him. But everybody already loved Dak. They're not going to what? If they truly love you, they're not going to hate you for saying something to them because they know you truly love them and you're saying it in love. Say something to these motherfuckers and tell them stop doing that dumb shit.
And see, this is the thing.
Well, I'm going to say something because at the end of the day, man, if you look at that play being rewound over and over again, yes, this was on CD Lamb. It's clear with all of the evidence, but also this was a poorly constructed route, okay? And I blame that on the OC. Because what you have is you got Dalton Schultz running deep and you're running a deep, almost a deep type of post into the end zone. And then you got CD Lamb that was supposed to break it off and he didn't break it off, right? I mean, dude, it was poorly constructed. And I'm talking about in particular the interception into the end zone. It was very, very poorly constructed. Again, the spacing is poor. The route choice, and this is the one I'm talking about right here, right? Interception number 2. Right, the space. Look, they're stacked right by each other. They're gonna both be run right into the deep safeties right here. That's poor design. One needs to break out, one needs to break in. However, you do that for spacing purposes, which also gives better throwing lanes to the quarterback outside of the fact that CD Lamb messed up on that route. And I put out a video. If you follow Boss Cowboy Sports, check it out. I said CD Lamb is not an elite number 1, and I'm not hating on CD Lamb, but I'm saying right now in his career, he's not that guy. He's a 1B. He needs a 1A if he's going to really thrive because physically he has the tools, but mentally and the leadership part, he doesn't have that down right now. He just doesn't.
And that's what I want us to talk about next, if y'all don't mind.
Before you go into that, last year, Dak Prescott threw 10 interceptions.
There we go. No, I'm talking about what you get ready to talk about.
Oh, you about to do that? Okay. Well, I don't have to bring.
I know where you going.
The rest
I
of
know
it
where
then.
you going.
Okay.
Don't please do.
Oh,
Please
go ahead
do.
and
I'm
say.
just excited.
Well, there I
Please say it.
6 out of the
Please.
10 was in the direction of C.D. Lamb.
Lamb.
Dak Prescott, the last 3 interceptions were in the area or the direction of C.D. Lamb. I like Lamb, and I'm banging on the table because I truly believe that he can be that wide receiver 1. But sometimes you need help, HELP, so that you can be comfortable a little bit in your route choices and just get them up out of the middle. I'm tired of seeing C.D. Lamb inside now because he's a pretty boy. Big Game James, he's a pretty boy. You know, he is the prettiest 88 we ever seen. Because any other 88 that wears that on their chest, all the way from Dez
He don't get dirty
to Irvin, to even the other Antonio that we had on this team, they didn't have clean fingernails.
Drew Pearson got dirty a little bit.
Who?
Drew Pearson got dirty.
Oh, Drew Pearson got dirty with them. Yeah. Drew got dirty. But this CD, I want him on the outside. He's a scratch CD in the inside. So if they can figure out a way to bring in somebody to help him out, this would be a plus for us. Because a couple of weeks ago when my guy, Boss Cowboy, and you guys were pointing out that Odell Beckham, shoot, he gonna go get it, in the middle of the field. And I think there's water under the bridge of us bringing in Odell Beckham now. But the Cowboys down the line need to bring in somebody to help get him up out of the inside there.
Hey, I thought I knew you was going. I was actually wrong, bro.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead with it.
But I'm gonna take some of your point because it's perfectly in line with what I was gonna say. I thought you was getting ready to say what I wanted to kind of segue us to. But you started off what you was saying with some evidence that I think is something that we gotta all consider now. Like you said, and you've been saying that for the longest, most of Dak's interceptions over the past 2 years have come from targeting C.D. Lamb. Now we have more and more evidence, we have more and more knowledge that these interceptions are coming from him not properly reading the defense. Dak is seeing something, and he is seeing something totally different. Dak's supposed to trust them, throw that ball with anticipation, and that's what Mike McCarthy talked about. I should have kept playing it because that was key, what he
Option
said.
routes and
He said when you running these option routes,
Yeah.
you have to throw it with anticipation,
Got to.
trusting that your receiver is going to be where he's supposed to be. So leading me to this, and I really want to talk about this, is Kellen Moore putting too much on his receivers? Because at this point, I don't think option route should be something for CD. I think it should be for hot pocket, Schultz. I don't think it makes sense to do it because this is year 3, and we still getting interceptions off target and C.D. Lamb. So sometimes you don't got it, bro. I'm not saying he dumb, but everybody ain't quarterbacks out there. Everybody is not cerebral enough to read a defense. That's why you have quarterbacks that struggle with interceptions, because even quarterbacks sometimes get confused.
Yeah.
So should we
Correct,
keep
both
these
Cowboys.
option routes with C.D. Lamb? And it's also option routes. It's why we not seeing Tolbert. And then you putting them.
Nuke it.
Then you putting Tolbert out
Nuke
there. What you say, bro?
Nuke it. Destroy it. Kill it.
Yeah, kill
Stop
it.
doing it.
Stop
it's unnecessary.
doing it. Right.
It's completely unnecessary.
Right.
Let the athletes, you draft these guys. Wait a second. Here's the deal. This is funny. You draft these receivers based on 40s, verticals, cone drills, hands, and route running.
Right.
And then you tell them, think about what route you're supposed to run when you're supposed to be running the route. Just
Right.
it's almost idiotic, especially once you've tried it for over a year or two and it's not working out. Kill it, man. Kill it. Go to 31 personnel, like the OC's been saying. You can throw out of that and control the middle of the field. You can do crossings, you can do drags, you can do all kind of stuff. And when you establish the run out of that, you can force one-on-one matchups, which is where CeeDee Lamb excels the most, especially versus not super elite DBs. So force the one-on-ones to him and to Gallup, run the ball down people's throat, work the play action, let the athletes be athletes, and let the IQ people be IQ people. Not saying these guys are not smart, but I'm saying this concept is not working out. So you got to be smart enough to come off of. You can't be so stubborn about your ideal when it's not working for quite some time.
Yep. And I think that you got to also utilize your talent. You got a guy that runs a 4.29, and I know. If you just send him on a go route, man, just to prove that he can run a go, just send him on a 9. That's going to respect somebody, because if anybody, they're going to say, man, don't let 9 get behind you, So at least, can we just get it one play a game? That's all I'm asking. If you're going to be pass happy, at least be pass happy with one play a game. You get somebody that runs a 9, a vert, like number 9, right? Where I'm at with this? Do y'all agree or disagree?
Man, I've been saying that, Law. I agree with you explicitly, because I've been saying you don't even use the talent that you have on your roster. If you need another receiver, put this kid in a slot. What second or third corner is going to guard that dude? You ain't going to guard that dude. Man, that dude's going to be open almost every play.
This the problem, y'all. You can't. That's what I want us to understand. You can't use your weapons when you have to also pass the Wonderlink with a quarterback score to play in this offense.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Do you feel me on that?
Yeah.
Because you was right. You started out perfect, OC. At first, with normal offenses, they want to know your 40. They want to know your quick cone. They want to know your vertical. They want to see how you catch with that drill, to where they watch you catch the ball with quarterbacks throwing to you in rapid fire. They want to see do you have natural hands. Now, you got to pass the SAT with a perfect score.
Yeah.
See, that's what's going on, y'all. So everybody that's like, why we not seeing Turpin? Why we not seeing Jalen Tolbert? And why did Dennis Houston rise out of nowhere?
Don't you know the last time?
Put it all together.
Don't you know you put it all together? Don't you know the last time we beat the Green Bay Packers was when we used a Lucky on a vert?
Yeah.
I mean, it surprised the hell out of them. They're like, wait a minute. Now the dude can run vertically. And I know there's a different philosophy of offense or what have you. It could be still the same. But the Cowboys, back in the days, man, we used to have a guy on our team. We call him Stones, because that's what's his hands. He was fast, but he couldn't catch anything. I promise you, when the pandemic happened, I guarantee you he didn't catch COVID because he couldn't catch anything. But the boy was fast, Pauls. The boy was fast. And teams had to say, man, a lot of people, we ain't going to mess around with Stones. We still got to put somebody over there.
See, listen, y'all. I want y'all to really hear me out. I see a lot of people saying, like, Toba can't even line up right. I want y'all, and I understand what y'all saying. That's a good thought, but I think you got to add to that thought. When you lining up, and you out there running through a whole checklist in your head. See, you will do stupid little stuff when it's too much on your plate. Mm-hmm. You lining up and you like, if that safety comes down, I gotta go flat. But if he goes up, I gotta go vert. If he does, I gotta go flat. So he out there thinking about all of that, and you was dumb enough to put him out there in overtime. And you do nothing to get him going, OC. You do nothing to build his confidence. Because when you want to build a tight end confidence, what do? You run that bootleg. Yeah. And you dump it off to him. You get them going. They feel the crowd. They feel the ball. They relax. But you ain't used Tolbert all day, and then you throw him out there in overtime with a big old checklist in his head of option routes. And then we all still trying to figure out why we not seeing them. Listen, y'all, until Okay. I'm gonna just hold on real quick. I gotta play
Well,
this.
boss,
Go ahead,
you could
Jose.
see it in his eyes, boss. I wish you had a clip of when he got called for the penalty of that shot. His eyes were like big as silver dollars. He looked like, oh Lord. He looked like he didn't know what was going on.
Hey,
He
OC,
looked like, uh-oh.
Explain to them how many people
Yeah.
got to be down on the line.
Man, so you gotta have at least 5 people down. I'm laughing. In terms of offensive linemen, you talking about checked in on the line as receivers?
Checked in on the line. Is it 7, right? Illegal,
Yes, 7.
illegal
It's 5 down
formation would
linemen
be.
and 7.
Yeah, illegal formation. Look, he never even looked. I said, God, dog. He didn't even do his homework. He didn't even check to see if he had the paper right. He just sit there.
Man, that dude was lying a foot over the ball, and then he was looking straight ahead. His eyes was this big. He was like, you could see it through his helmet. He was like, oh Lord.
Listen, y'all, I don't want to go too hard on Kellen, but I'm gonna just keep it real, bro. Because of this system, you're not seeing Tolbert play. Because of this system, you didn't see CeeDee Lamb get targets. Because of this system, Amari Cooper is gone, y'all.
Because he knew too much. Either you know too much, you know too less. That's probably why that's why Turpin is not out there. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can't understand the offense.
For a fight. Get ready for a fight, because I'm getting ready to shock y'all when I say this. And because of this system, do not go get Odell Beckham.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I came to that 2 days ago. I've changed. Don't go get him. This system will frustrate the hell out of him, and he will destroy this whole locker room. And rightfully so. Mike McCarthy said himself, he's never been in a system with so many option routes. And he said he's never been forward. So let me ask y'all a question. And I'm going to sit back. I want to hear y'all answer too. How did your head coach say after the Tampa game that I've never been a fan of option routes, but it's week 9 going into week 10 and we still aggressively running them? What is that saying?
Defiant.
Thank you.
Use one word.
Do what I want. I got backing. I can do what I want because I got backing.
Ooh, wait. I gotta wait.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big game, James.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
Good comment, landlord. Landlord said Odell might be able to read them better, though.
True.
If that's the case, and that's a big if.
But you know what? Just to bounce off what landlord just said, I'm feeling what you said about Odell. I was feeling it like 2 hours before I got on the show with you, boss. I promised to God. I promise on God. Yes. I promise on God.
Yes,
I was
bro.
like, you know what? Maybe he shouldn't come down here because because when dope players come here, and I know Amari Cooper, but they just the guys that are going to be outspoken. Odell is outspoken. That's my thing that I was saying. If he ain't and it ain't about him not getting the rock, but if he sees, come on, dog, I'm open, throw me the damn ball, what the hell are we doing? He's gonna say something. And they're not gonna like that. And that's what's making me in my head say, because it's gonna happen here. It's gonna happen. Like, it's going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen. And I feel like he's rightfully so going to be mad to be able to say, throw me the damn ball.
Right.
He's going to have the right to be able to say it because he's going to be open. He's a very football intelligent player.
Right.
Kind of like what DeAndre Hopkins
very intelligent.
said to Kyler Murray. He says, what the hell are you saying? Throw me the ball. And it's one of those things with Odell. So I believe the Cowboys reviewed everything, and they said, you know what? We'll pick up a guy who the last time he seen out there.
Who ain't saying it.
It's year 2020, and they picked up Antonio Callaway. They're going to work him up. They're going to feed him up. And then in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to see him being elevated to the starting roster, and somebody's going to be kicked back. And I'm quite sure that Jalen Tolbert will clear waivers even if they waive him or even if they put him on the practice squad. I don't think anybody is going to pick up Jalen Tolbert at this point.
Good thought too, landlord, on that. But
hey, you know what? Before you finish that, boss, I just want to say this right quick. This is the reason why I feel like we won't. This is why we don't get over the hump,
right?
Because it's like we scared. This is the reason why. Like, when I see this things like this, it's like we don't want that.
Right?
It's like that's the frustrating part. We won't get those. This is a guy that you could get if you just let him cook and let him be himself and let him do his thing. This offense, this team, the energy. You see how AJ Brown, I'm just using an example in my opinion. You see how AJ Brown, he came over for the Titans and he came over to Philly, right? He came over with a whole bunch of attitude. Right? He came over with a whole, not just talent, he came over with a whole bunch of attitude. They feed off that shit with him. That team does. That offense does. They all feed off of it. And it's like Dallas don't want that. It's like they don't want that kind of energy.
Right.
And they say it in the media how they want it, but they really don't want that type of energy. I feel like that's why we don't get over the hump, because we got a whole bunch of yes men.
Say big. You remember last week, Jerry came out and said, talking about Odell Beckham, we also look at people skills. Oh, that's right. Because me and you start talking about it on this. Because we showed it on this show, and me and you was like, people skills. That makes sense. Oh
my gosh.
That makes sense. So you gotta have people skills to be in Kellen Moore's system, because you're gonna be mad as hell. He need people.
Better learn how to talk to the media.
He need people that's gonna know how to shut up.
Or you got so much leverage over them, like they didn't play football since 2020. Oh, boss boy, you be on it, man, you know. And then James Washington, right? Hey, he may be back, he may not, but at this point, he got no room to yell or no room to fuss or no room to complain, right? Ooh wee, boy, y'all on it, man.
I want to talk about a solution real quick and get y'all thoughts on it. We talked about one solution was get rid of the option routes, but I'm gonna also just kind of say it in a general term. Remember when Mike McCarthy came back after Tampa and he said he's gonna simplify the offense? They need to simplify it some more.
Which the OC has been saying, limit the formations. Do not let this dude go to spread unless you're down by 2 touchdowns. There's no reason for you to go to spread. There's no reason, Kellen, for you to be running empty with this offense and the personnel. No reason. Stop doing it, especially when you're up by 14 points in the game. Especially then, please stop doing it. We should be in 2 tights. We should be in 31. We should be in a standard 2 wide receiver package, right? A standard pro style offense or a pro style set, 2 receivers right, 1 receiver left, right? You don't need all the formations because it makes your quarterback vulnerable to the blitz. It gives in to your weakness of overpassing the ball, and it gets us out of rhythm with the route combinations that I don't really like that I see being called, and these option route nonsense stuff. So we need to stop that. So we need to limit formations. If we limit formations, we'll be okay.
Facts.
I do
That's
want to say
right there. That's
I do want to say this, dude. I do understand the vision of Kellen Moore. Cause see, those option route timing things going, you know, if everybody was from Harvard, boy, this offense would be cold. If everybody was Schultz, cause you could tell Schultz, he read them defenses. Him and Dak, they on the same page.
Yeah.
CD Lamb and Dak, they are not, dog. And see, and the more and more I think about this, I'm finna move on from this because this really, the more you got rid of a guy who was real smart. See, listen, did you ever guess who really exposing the problems of option routes? Your old number one didn't expose it. Guess who exposing it? your new number one. Because guess what? Your old number one was smart, a book reader.
He knew.
Yeah, he was chess player. Yeah, so you didn't have this problem with your old number one in Kellen Moore's system, but with this new number one, now that and see, you asked a good question.
Complicated.
It's complicated,
You right,
dog.
boss.
Yeah,
you right, boss. Because you remember when Ocho Cinco Chad Johnson, remember when he left the Bengals and he was turning up and going crazy over there, and then they was like, oh, we go over to the Patriots, he gonna go crazy with Brady, and he never got on the field. And what they kept on saying, he ain't know the offense. He ain't know the offense. That's why he ain't getting on the field, because this offense is totally different over here. So you might have did that over there in Cincinnati because it was freedom. It was freelance. You could kind of get away and get off that over there. But over here, you better know what you're doing, or you're not going to get on the field. And that's you can see the difference. I feel you 100%, boss, with Amari Cooper mentally, and look at his route running. And what we were already talking about, boss, before the season started, that CeeDee Lamb had to get that route running. Remember we was talking about it? He had to get that route running better to take his game to another level. And that's what he had to learn from Amari. And it seems like when I agree with you, Law, since he's a pretty boy and kind of a prima donna kind of thing, I don't gotta learn that. I'm not saying, I'm just speculating my own head. I'm not saying this is happening. This is from me. Maybe he's feeling like, I ain't got to do that. I got this. And it's a little bit harder than you think, dog.
Burn them candles, man.
Can I add one more thing? I know we beating this drum hard, but all right. So my boy Special K, he says, Schultz been in the league for a while, boss. Y'all got to give CD and Dak time for the relationship to grow. And I love you, Special K, but we don't have time. This is a contender year, brother. And last year was these windows open and close. We don't have time for long-term relationships to form.
And Schultz wasn't playing.
You got to strip down the offense to where it ain't got to be about relationships. Let's make the offense about ability, not relationships. I'm sorry. Because you're right. It did take Schultz 4 years. We got CeeDee Lamb in year 3 and still struggling with this offense and option routes. Maybe your system too complicated, dog. Yes, it did work with the Boise State nerds, because you was working with Boise State receiver nerds. Y'all was good old boys, goody goodies. But sometimes when you dealing with these jocks, we all know, because we all played, some of these dudes ain't got the best brains.
Hey, Cedric Wilson. That's why he used to be a quarterback. Yeah, go ahead.
I can't agree with that.
That's good, though.
I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that, what he's saying with that statement that he had Schultz was in the league longer, because CeeDee Lamb came in his rookie year, all 3 years he's had with Dak. So that's 3 years.
Right.
When Dalton Schultz came in there with Dak, Dalton Schultz didn't get no time because James Wint was there. So it wasn't like they had any kind of relationship at all, starts throwing the ball. Dalton Schultz got thrown in there when Blake Jordan blew his knee out in 2020, and he had to learn instantly right then. He had 3 years with CeeDee Lamb to do it, so there ain't no excuse of why they're still not on final ground. Because when Amari Cooper hit Dallas, they hit the ground running.
Right.
Well, this is what I got to look at with CeeDee Lamb.
When Dak and Cooper got there, they went there.
Let me say this: he's not chopped liver, guys. CeeDee Lamb is not chopped liver, and I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to the people in the comments. Like, he's not chopped liver. What we're saying is that let's just take him away from the middle of the field. Let's just take away. If he's going to go across the middle, let it be a shallow drag, not a deep one, right? And let's keep him on the boundary side. They got some boundary wide receivers. He's not a DeAndre Hopkins right now at this point. I don't know if he'll ever be, but he got this thing that he got to live up to 88. The reason why you see Jefferson over there in Vikings, who we got to play next week or what have you, or this week, the reason why his expectations were never as high as CeeDee Lamb is because over there in Vikings land, they didn't put 84 on his chest. They gave him his own number, his 18. Now, if you maybe, just maybe, if CeeDee Lamb was wearing 18 or 2 or 10 or 11 or whatever other number that would have been available to him, maybe we wouldn't even have this conversation right now.
Yeah, and I want y'all to remember, I'm going to go pull that clip if y'all keep talking spicy to me and going crazy on many chats.
Not my opinion. That's no excuse in my opinion. You feel me? I'm not saying you, Law, but I ain't no excuse in my opinion. If you got these option routes and you've been saying and you've been doing these things for 2-3 years, dog, and you're still going over the top like that, and this is a big game, you know better, dog. Like, somebody got to chastise this man, like, for real. Like, you know better. This is a big game.
Yep.
You throwing your quarterback out the draw. This is a big game. You got to win this game.
I got to clap back one time. Quentin is saying that y'all are questioning the man's football intelligence. No, because I don't think that nobody knows more football than the playmaker, than 88. You know,
I am questioning it.
Yes, I am.
I am questioning it.
I am questioning.
Yeah, and it's a good question. When you've been in the system 3 years,
you're calling them dumb because you can question it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can, and we should question it because when we keep saying.
You doing the same thing after 3 years?
Yeah, we gotta question your brain.
What the hell?
Are we supposed to ask your questions on that?
Oh, we know. Yeah, I am. I sure am.
I sure am.
Let me throw something.
You know damn well you're not supposed to do that no more. I'm questioning.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did. Me too, Big.
Let me give another question. Let me give one more question, just for a father. You know, as I look at those routes and him not in breaking in, if he in breaks in, and I thought about this a lot, even looking at the game, is CeeDee Lamb averse to taking big hits? Because if he in breaks and catch that football, he go get tagged on both of those plays. If he breaks in, he catch that football, he's in a position to get the wood laid on him. Is he a self-protector?
No.
Is he making business decisions?
No, he's not. Because that same game, he took a big hit.
He did.
He took a big hit for the team. And listen, he balled out. I'm not questioning his courage. Nope. I've seen him take hits for this team. But
okay.
I'm
putting everything on the table.
And it might not be his brain, y'all. It might not be his brain. It might be his commitment to the playbook. They do that in the league. You remember Michael Vick was like that, where he depended
he didn't
on
like the play.
He didn't like the study.
He didn't like the play.
Some of these balls are partiers. It's like study. See, Dak is a nerd.
Play right there. That play right there, though. I keep going back to that play. I don't know partying, no nothing, no. I ain't questioning seeing no partying. I don't know why the hell you did that. Don't make no damn sense. And even right here, watch this. Watch him slow up. Watch, like, slow up. Fight through that. Even if you saw why him coming over there, fight through that and go.
Right.
Come on, dog. We play the game.
Like he didn't want no work.
We play the game. When we play the game, you still fight through that if you really trying to make a play, dog.
That's
we
true.
Play
he didn't
our
look like
play.
he want that work, dude.
If you really trying to make a play, you're gonna fight through that shit.
The film say he throttled down.
You know.
He throttled
the film
down,
did
y'all.
say he throttled down, and nobody talking about that. That throttled down. Yeah, that's true.
He throttled down.
He
if
did,
you want to
bro.
make a play, you go up and watch.
Yeah.
Watch. He throttled down right here.
He
right
did.
there, he slowed down.
He did. But see, sometimes, and that's but you know why sometimes people throttle down? They thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's too much thinking in the system. It could be thinking about the hit. It could. But he took a hit that game.
But that don't mean it. Boss, you know damn
I'm
well
with
you played it.
See, now we trying to figure out why.
Now, ain't gonna take another one.
I don't know
He
why.
ain't gonna try to take 2 or 3 of them. Don't tell me he ain't gonna take. Come on, boss. Don't do
Boss,
that.
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
He ain't a big dude now.
I ain't
gonna
feeling
be
all the time.
when
Them
he take them
DBs,
hits.
them
Come on now,
DBs gonna
let's
say,
be
hey, they tossing this way. Hey, coach. Hey, what did Xavier Woods? Hey, what did Xavier Woods did? Xavier Woods like, hey, and coach. I can only give it. I can't give it 100% of the time now.
But it's nothing. Listen, y'all. It's nothing wrong with questions, y'all.
Right. We
See,
got
because the final word is the first place that questioned Dan Quinn. Now all of a sudden they starting to get loud about it.
Mo.
Yeah, we was the first place to be like, what is Dan Quinn doing with these cute
and
concepts?
they said, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Questioned Quinn? How dare it you, OC? How dare it you, Law Nation? You dare to question the genius of Dan Quinn? And we over like, I don't care about Dan Quinn. Listen, Neville Gallimore should never be lined up at the 9. Never.
Never.
So when I start,
Never.
so what y'all gonna say about him lining LVE at the 9 this week?
Never.
Can we switch the defense?
Let's switch the defense, man. I'm waiting for defense, man. We were
Let's switch
talking
the
about
defense,
this
dog.
weak offense all this time. Let's talk about some defense, man.
I know. Let's talk about this defense.
Because he can't get off the hook. He can't get off the hook
No,
today. Get on
don't
him,
take
OC.
Dan Quinn
Get
off the hook.
Let's get
No.
some defense going over here, man.
No,
Get
man.
off the hook today.
Who first? Big, you first.
Defense, big game.
No, I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick,
I'm
Big.
gonna just say,
saying, look,
OC, hold up. OC, I want OC to do his film study. That's so I can be quiet when he do his film study.
We got
That's
a
what
lot
I
of film
want
up here.
Go
We
ahead,
got plenty
then.
of film.
What he
Go ahead,
big
then.
is. So you chill out, let me just say this. Dan Quinn, hey, you know we love you, dog. But just because we love you don't mean we're not gonna say nothing now. That's 240 against them Bears. It's 207. You knew they was gonna run. I hear what Boss said that Kellen Moore, you threw your team out there, you let them on the field 10 play. But I don't give a hell, 10 plays, they was running straight up the gut.
Yeah.
Up the middle.
Yeah, I don't give a hell.
On the edges.
Yeah, boy, I don't
And
give a
Aaron,
hell.
and we know Aaron Jones is a Cowboys killer, and he killed us again. Come on, let's roll that tape, OC, y'all. Come on, talk to me because this got to stop. Because we said it in the beginning, boss, before this damn year started, this is going to be the Achilles heel of the defense because the only reason why defenses, it looks good in the stats, Dallas is only giving up 95 yards a game. In 2014, they only gave up 88 yards a game because teams didn't stay with it and they got behind. When teams have decided to say, we don't give a hell, we're going to keep on running, and it don't matter what you say, they are successful against the Dallas Cowboys defense, and they have not found an answer for that. Come on. Don't do that.
Who
And you know what?
did we change on this defense since last year? Since the playoff game? Who have we changed on the starting lineup? I'll wait.
You right.
We haven't changed anything.
Well,
so
but
what's
you
the
Hey,
definition of
how
Hey,
he was
Law,
getting tricky,
I
dog.
got a punch back on
Remember
that one,
how
dog.
we was talking about, but here's the thing.
What is
know
the
how we was
definition of
talking
insanity?
about how he get tricky. That's my problem.
Facts.
It get tricky.
What
but
I'm saying is he be trying to get tricky.
Yep, he
doing Run
does.
DMC.
Yep, he tried to
It's
get
tricky.
tricky, y'all.
He doing Run DMC.
He
it's
is.
like why? When it's like in the critical parts of the game, it get
He
tricky, and
is.
I'm like,
Yep.
you're doing Kellen Moore. If we gonna talk
Yes.
about Kellen Moore, you doing Kellen Moore stuff.
He
get tricky as
is.
hell. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. He be doing these little lineups. I'm like, why are you going little? And they about to run it on this play.
Basically,
This
so
boy ain't
we
lying.
talking about LVE.
He ain't lying.
We do know that a linebacker responsibility is slow until you know. But at some point, you're supposed to know to get to hook to flat. You got to get to the flat area to stop the run, and then you got to fill holes. And I'm saying LVE, tat, 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 tat. Oh, I'm supposed to be slow until I know. When the hell he would know? I want to know. That is the problem with the Cowboys defense. I'm not pointing just him out because we did regress a little bit on the opposite side of D-Law against the run. Only time I've seen somebody really get good with it, Golston, I like him. I like what he brings to the table, as well as Sam Williams. But Sam Williams only get a spoonful of reps. So we are expecting, and on top of that, in
Golston
this
was
scheme,
inactive.
Yeah, in this scheme. And in his philosophy, Golston was enough. In this scheme and philosophy, we play more safeties, 3 safeties. And that sometimes if you don't have that big package out there, of course, I like J-Ron Curse, but he get washed up and swallow up. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. Boss, he's 205 pounds. You know, he get washed out sometimes. He is good on pass rush. He's good occasionally on the run, but he's not good on consistent situations. And I love J-Ron Curse. He is my dog. I know he listens to the channel and beyond, but these are things that we are seeing down the line that if they continue to run, and if we're not playing complimentary football and they out there on the field a lot, shoot, what you think is going to give? I'm done. He got the hoodie on.
At some point, you must keep contained. When you see 2 linemen pulling to run a lead toss sweep about 8 times, after at least the second time, you need to run outside and force the cutback. Stop getting hooked. We used to call it getting hooked. These defensive ends getting hook. These linebackers, they're not sprinting through making no plays in the backfield. And I'm saying the whole linebacker whole linebacker crew. I'm not just pointing at LBE. I'm saying the reaction, the speed needs to improve. And then they say, okay, we tired of running wide on you. We go line up and just run this ball straight down your thigh. Down your thigh. And we go double team your weak defensive tackles. We go hit LVE because we know he don't want to step up and hit nobody in the hole. And we go get these 6 and 8 yard gains. That's what we're gonna do. So here's the issue here. The commitment to the prep and the physical toughness. I'm gonna tell you something. Football, defensive line, and stopping the run is a mentality, and it is a combination of skills and will. Skills and will. And the will of these guys to bear down, to be physical, and to run through fullbacks, to run through guards is not there. And that's the problem with this defense.
Yeah, I got to jump in, bro. I'm sorry. I know somebody else was next, but
you got a hood on, boy.
Yeah, bro. Y'all done brought out the devil now.
I got my hoodie on that too.
Yeah, bro. Y'all done brought me out, bro. Y'all done brought out Hoodie Boss.
Look, I'm gonna throw mine on too.
See, listen, man.
I got the light hoodie though.
I'm gonna ask y'all the question and be real with me. Who had a better defensive front, Rod Marinelli or Dan Quinn?
2016.
Who played harder? You mean?
No, I just said who better.
You talking about year?
Better? Who had more
particular
talent?
year?
Who had more?
What year?
2014.
Because
16. We can use both those years.
I'm gonna say 16. 16. Marinelli had him because he had D-Law and David Irvin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And Malik Collins.
That's true. Well, I wouldn't count Malik Collins when he had David. Okay,
I know, but
let me cheat. Let me cheat.
Malik Collins was
Let me
good that
cheat
year.
for my point. I'm gonna cheat for my point. 2007,
Okay,
Rod
you
Marinelli.
cheat.
Take David Irvin there, because David Irvin.
You got
No. Leave
age,
David in. No, leave him in. No. We gonna keep him in for my point.
You gonna keep him in?
We gonna keep him in for my point.
All right.
I think the part that people sleeping on is when the OC said the will.
Aiden Dirty.
See,
Aiden Dirty.
At this point, because
Aiden
remember,
Dirty.
David Irvin came from very humble beginnings. Practice squad-ish stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because of the effort that Rod demanded, he transformed a lot of them guys and got a lot of them guys paid. So when the OC talk about will, I'm being honest, because we got the talent. Are you too friendly with them guys? Why are you not getting the because I know Rod would have got the max out of this talent. You telling me if you gave Rod these guys,
he had orphans.
Yeah, he had orphans. That was Rob
had,
Marinelli's problem. He only had
he
wanted
orphans.
Anthony Woods,
he didn't want, but
6 foot.
Right.
He had George Selvey.
Right.
George Selvey.
But was we
played
crying?
hard. But he got 6 sacks.
Oh, are we crying like we crying now by stopping the run though? Nope.
But it was embellished. I mean, we
can't
still
really
couldn't
say
stop the
that
run,
though, boss, because they weren't great. They got ran through, but teams just didn't do it because we jumped on leads with them. So I can't really feel you on all the way on that one.
Yeah, and then we had a guy by the name of
I think you can feel me, dog.
Golden Cock. We had the Golden Cock and all those boys.
Because
yeah,
we had Hayden in there in that middle. They was not a good run defense.
I ain't saying it was good.
2014.
I'm saying Rod got more out of his guys.
Yeah. I would say that
we talking about effort.
He was different.
Effort. And
Right.
see,
We talking about effort.
and see,
And
at
it's not
some
about
point,
giving up runs. Because, not to cut you off, boss, just real quick, everybody gives up a big run here or there, man. Everybody does. It's not about you giving up a big run here or there. It's about how they do it to you. It's about the lack of resistance. It's the lack of resistance and the comfortability for this defense to give up 6 and 7 yards a pop. That's the disturbing thing. It's the ease of use. It's the ease of which we give up these chunks of yards. And that is problematic. And that starts in the locker room. That starts in drills. That starts in the meeting room before practice. That starts with the tempo, the toughness, and the mentality that your defensive coordinator and in particular your defensive line coach sets for these guys. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. And this is, this is what every ball player knows. All you guys know this. If you had a bad game or if y'all as a position group didn't do well, you had certain coaches, they made you feel very uncomfortable. They wasn't nice to you. They was mad at you all week. They was mad until the next game. They were mad until you played better. They were mad and they made it uncomfortable and it was a no-friend situation. And that's where these guys got to pick it up, man, and get the max out of these first and second and third and fourth round draft picks, man, and they not doing it.
Man.
Is Dan Quinn the same way too, though?
The OC.
Yeah.
Too friendly?
No emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtags.
I'm not gonna call Dan Quinn friendly, but I'm gonna say it's time to look under the hood. He's not beyond questions at this point. It is.
I think he's too much of a player's coach. I think he's too much of a player's coach, or this would have stopped after the first or second game it happened. That's what I think. He's too much of a player's coach.
I think there's too
and that's
much,
what got him in trouble in Atlanta.
I think it's too many hands in the pot. I do like Dan Quinn. I do like his philosophy and his tempo. But when you start talking about like positional coach like Adurde, maybe if the Cowboys had a perfect world and we had Rob Marinelli and still had Dan Quinn, maybe that would be a situation as far as getting efforts out of the defensive line guys. We all knew that Rob Marinelli, the time set on him. But he was still good with defensive line guys, and he got the most out of his guys. But he never had this level of talent because he always said, you know what, I don't need this, I don't need that. I can get it out of George Selvey, or I can get it out of this guy and that guy. But I'm not finna sleep on Dan Quinn philosophy, but I just feel that right now Dan Quinn need to have a self-inventory.
Where's Darren Armstrong?
He's good on pass rush, man. He ain't a edge rush. He ain't a run stopper.
Okay, I just want to ask a question.
Hey, I want to ask you something, boss. Boss. Hey, boss. We still winning that 50. I'm just letting you know that. I just want to throw that in there again.
But guess what, though?
We still getting that money.
You might get that money, but you're impressed with Tank. You are.
He's listening to us. He's listening to me. He just don't want to tell us. But I've been on his ass, and that's why he's playing better. He just
I appreciate that. hey, I want to throw something else at y'all. I want to throw something else at both of y'all.
Quick, boss. Mm-hmm. All right. No, just listen to this. Because Rob Marinelli, I think the difference. Remember in Rob Marinelli's interviews? Remember when he was getting on Taco and he was calling like Taco Bueno or something like that? He wasn't even calling him Taco. You remember? Because Rob Marinelli get on your ass. He'd talk about you in the media. He don't care.
He didn't.
And with the OC's point, maybe that's a reason too, because Rob Marinelli didn't care who you were. He would talk about you and you knew better. You don't hear Dan Quinn really get on people like that. I don't know. Just me. I'm just throwing something out.
Man. Dan Quinn's still my guy, though, man. What y'all look?
Yeah, he my guy.
He my guy. He my guy.
I still like him, Lord. That don't mean he my guy too. But you can be your guy, but he's not above anything.
I'll check this out. I'm gonna throw a couple of more things at y'all for defense. Cause see, we on solutions. So the solution, obviously, to that is we really don't have one because we don't even know the problem. The only thing is we seeing problems and we trying to figure out. But this, what you said about, I do think you're right, Law. Okay. I think them trying to make Curse a linebacker is wearing on him. I think he had a heart for it, but you also had to have a frame for it.
There you go.
I also think we overthinking it. Because if you're trying to run three safeties with one of them playing a big nickel as a linebacker, why not just go with the natural big nickel? Why not give the natural the guy has actually made to be able to take the long-term abusive linebacker? I don't agree with him as a middle linebacker, but for him playing the strong side, big nickel,
right,
makes sense. Like, so it's you having trouble stopping the run. sometimes you got guys out there that's not built for a whole lot of run stoppage long term. And it's at what point do you start shuffling in the deck?
It's political.
So I'm gonna ask that question.
It's political.
I'm gonna ask that question. You think it's political, dog?
Because the lineup that I envision is Damone Clark is my Mike. Cox
Yeah,
on
I
the
like
side,
that.
right?
Yep, I can see that.
But you got to put
Weak
Parsons.
side.
You got to put Parsons out there. And the problem is, you got your boy from Boise that's in the way. He's solid. He's not above average, and he's not trash. He's a solid linebacker, LVE. And the thing is that the Cowboys playing this political football, whereas they want their former first-round draft pick to get his time, his reps, and it don't matter how much we will point out the flaws, the inefficiencies, right? This dude is solid, but he's not that dude. I know it's slow until you know. I get all of that. I get that Damone Clark still got to go through growing pains. But and from my perspective, Damone Clark is your Mike. Parsons is one of your edge guys on the linebacker, outside linebacker, as well as Cox. But they don't want to do it because it's political.
God dog. It makes sense too.
Yep. Facts.
I want to ask y'all another question too.
In my opinion, facts.
I'm gonna ask y'all another question too. Because when I start thinking about it, I'm gonna go ahead and get an answer. Oh, my answer. I think we spending too much time on us not being able to stop the run. And I think we losing focus on what really lost us that game. Just keeping it real. Did we lose the game because we couldn't stop the run? Or did we lose the game because we couldn't stop the big play? Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Because see, not stopping the big play is what got them
both.
Points. I would say more so the big play.
Two things can be true.
Because two things can be true. But I've seen
them runs was setting up the big play, boss, wasn't it?
Bingo.
I've also seen, but I also saw them big runs fail. This is what I mean by that. Everybody been running the ball on us, but everybody ain't been scoring points on us.
Everybody don't have an Aaron Rodgers.
Though, boss.
Everybody don't have Aaron Rodgers.
True.
You know,
we've been playing.
True, we played some good quarterbacks.
Justin Fields, he's not ready. Jared Goff, nope.
He was a good quarterback.
Who else we played before that?
We played Burrow. We played shit.
And they ran all on. No, we shut the run down. We shut the run down on that game.
Yeah.
They didn't run on us.
There was another touchdown out there, but Sam Williams got to him. You saw Sam Williams got to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That was another touchdown.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Well, my point is this, and being all the way honest, this week we focusing on, like y'all said, and I'm agree with that. I'm not gonna fight y'all on that. We focusing on the body shots. We not focusing on the knockout punches. We got hit with knockout punches with that secondary. And we got to talk about that, bro. Let's keep it real. And that includes Bland. That obviously includes Anthony Brown. You know what I'm saying? We just keeping it real. What are we going to do with Anthony Brown? And at what point do you really just say it's time to move on and go with Kevin Josephs? Because, like, Law, you've been preaching this, and I got your back on this. I do give everybody a couple of bad games, but now we starting to get he's stacking bad games now. It's been about 3 games in a row where Anthony Brown is playing bad. When do you go ahead and go with the younger guy?
I mean, if you
to
go
try
with
to
him now.
stop the big plays, just keeping it real. Because people can say what they want to, but it wasn't no big plays on Kevin Josephs versus Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers.
But here's my thing, though. You drafted him in the second round. You drafted Kelvin Joseph in the second round last year, right? So what my thing is now, he got hurt. He got the concussion. He played pretty well in this game. You saw a little sample, a couple games. What messed him up was this off field. You feel what I'm saying? If you throwing Bland in there, what the hell you waiting for with Kelvin Joseph? What the hell you waiting for? He got the athletic ability. You can't get no worse. You're going to tell me you can't get no worse with Kevin Joseph out there than you got with Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown played out his mind last year because that was his first year with Dan Quinn. But guess what? He reverted to back what he really was.
Right.
Just like when we saw Carson Wentz. He
true.
played a little bit good over in Indianapolis, but guess what? He reverted back to Carson Wentz.
True.
That's what he was, and that's what he is, and that's what he's always going to be, and that's what Anthony Brown is. So move him on out of there because your team ain't falling off because you ain't got no damn Anthony Brown in the lineup.
The time to really stretch out your roster and get the most out of your guys would have been using their stats from last season, Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis, as trade situations. You should have been on the phone saying, hey, I got this guy. He had 3 interceptions last year. Hey, if you look at, you should have been building up your resume of selling off for this guy to bring in because you drafted an early round, Nashawn Wright, right? You drafted early in the rounds of, dare I say, a Kelvin Joseph. So you're supposed to start utilizing your trade capital to reinvest into your team because now what's going to ultimately happen, Cowboy Nation, is the Cowboys are going to cut Anthony Brown at the end of the year or not renew his contract, and we're not going to get nothing in return. And the same could be said about Jordan Lewis. We would not get nothing in return. And the problem with the Cowboys for a stretch of years is we don't know how to will and deal our players. And with Kelvin Joseph, I get it. I understand that he had that off-field situation, and when they did throw him out there, he wasn't a world beater and things like that. But, boss, you know, you played the game. If they're sitting down now in meetings saying that Kelvin Joseph, you got to pull up tape on Adam Thielen because that is who you're going to be guarding against the Minnesota. And we're preparing you to be that starting outside corner. I think that he will be a tick faster and he will understand a little bit more in meetings to know that he will be the starting corner outside of Trayvon Diggs, and he will be better in games. But just to throw him out there naked in a game and without full game plan and full things of him understanding that who he's going to be guarding, you're going to have those hiccups.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that in this situation, I mean, you got young, talented guys. I just think it's the preparation and allowing these guys to grow up. And I've always been an advocate, if that's going to be your future, right, go ahead and let guys with talent grow up earlier rather than sandbagging these guys until their second and third years and then they haven't had adequate time to develop and you don't really know what you got. And that's the issue here with some of the veteran DBs on this team, to Law's excellent point regarding Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis at this point. You got to go with these young dogs and let them hunt, and you got to teach them and you got to coach them hard. And then that's going to be really the value and the proving ground for Al Harris, the defensive back coach, right? Can he prepare these guys to go out here and be competitive and be very, very good? And that'll tell us a whole lot. But that's what I think, how we should handle this situation.
Yeah, I'm for the young guys. I'm for ripping off the Band-Aid and going with the young guys. Like, I think you hit it, both you and Law and Big, y'all hit it big when you was like him reverting back. We are watching him revert back. Now, Law, you was the first to really bust him. You bust him. But at this point, I got to kind of get my gun out with you. Because, you know, we got to do what we got to do. We seeing some issues on his defense, and it is, in my opinion, it was more so the explosive plays.
Yeah.
To me, because they hit us for a touchdown on the 4th and 7, bro. We should have got them off the field if we stopped that explosion play. Like everything that Christian Watson did,
third down,
he did in 4 catches, bro. Yeah. That's explosion. That's not stopping the run. Just keeping it real. Like, I think this week we putting a lot of emphasis on, man, if we don't stop this run, man, we gonna lose. Man, they been running it on us. On the cool. They just ain't been scoring on us. We gotta stop these teams from scoring. I feel you on that.
I
And I
hear
know
you,
we
boss.
do got a problem.
I hear you,
with
boss.
the-
But we
My
got
question
Dalvin
is-
Cook and that other damn running back coming.
Let's
I
talk
don't know
about it.
about all that.
Boise
Let's talk
State
about
too, by the way.
I
You
don't know
know.
about all that.
Let's
I
talk
don't know
about it.
all that one, boss. They
No,
got
but
some
see-
dog running backs back there. We need
But
to
what
stop
we
them.
gonna do about it, Big? Like, what's the solutions now?
I feel you.
Trade deadline over
But I
with.
mean,
Yeah.
they ain't trading shit. They gotta
Right.
step the hell up.
So my thing is, we gotta, to me, get the
Stop
most out of
getting
our
tricky.
current guys. Exactly. That.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop
Stop
getting tricky.
stunting.
Now,
Stop
historically,
both sides.
historically speaking, Jefferson really, and I'm gonna knock on some goddamn on wood. Jefferson
don't say it. Don't even
I
say
ain't
it,
gonna say it.
Lord,
I ain't gonna
please,
say it. Y'all
Lord.
talking about something else. Y'all talking about something else.
No, no, because he.
I was knocking on some wood over here.
Be quiet.
I'm gonna be quiet about it. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Because he gonna erupt if you say it.
Oh, you gonna
Say it. That we've been clamping him. Say it, man.
Yeah, no, I ain't
We been
gonna say
clamping that
nothing,
dude,
man. Come on, baby.
We've been clamping
No,
you,
we ain't
Jefferson.
been doing nothing against him,
17
man.
catches for 252, a new record on that.
Ain't no man, ain't no
Hey,
jinx,
hey,
man.
but
You either ready or you
CD
not.
been blowing up against those guys.
195 and 62 history never's happened. I'm
Keep
just
talking,
saying.
boss. Right, keep talking, boss. I feel you.
195. The Cowboys with the 14-point lead got
Never.
195 and 0.
Never.
All right, so obviously that's a perfect transition into Minnesota. Ooh. See, that's a perfect transition into Minnesota. So here we go.
Oh my gosh.
What's up? What's up with Minnesota, man? Let's talk about it.
They're good.
they looking at the Green Bay game. And
They run the
saying
ball well.
They got a. Who's better, Cooks or Aaron Jones? Right now, who's better?
Cook.
I like Cook.
That's a hard one.
Cook.
Cooks is physical. Cook is physical and fast. Cooks is a physical back. He's not afraid of that work. I'm taking Cooks.
I'm taking Cook.
And they got a guy by the name of
Cooks.
Ham. They got a guy by the name of Ham when they get in that short distance, and he runs like he's hungry. All right, and they got he hard. And then they got Adam Thielen, and they also have Jefferson, who those guys are greedy when the ball is in the air. They'll pull it out. And T.J. Hawkinson, who's looking for revenge, by the way. Keep in mind. And I still, to this day, don't understand how the hell Detroit is going to trade within their division. How they do that, man? Come on.
They're the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I had no answer for that. God dog. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So yeah, man. So let's kind of go around and talk about, man, like what are some of the things we go do. And I guess we can just start with defense. You know, and I'm gonna say this. Y'all all know I've been Mr. Micah Parsons need to be an edge rusher. I think for most of the season going forward, I think it's time to move him to linebacker. I know y'all probably think I'm crazy, but I think it's time for him to play linebacker and mostly full-time linebacker now.
Where?
I'm serious.
Where though?
Middle. Mostly middle, yes. And this is why I'm saying that, Law.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were saying this about Micah Parsons when he was coming out of Penn State. They read him wrong. They were saying he doesn't diagnose plays right. But me and the OC was looking real close at him. And I said this during the draft process. And it's the same thing going on now. He is such an athlete. He's such a freak that every coordinator just gets so happy working with him. This ain't the first time they moved him all around. They was doing the same thing at Penn State. What does that do for linebacker? You don't get the instincts if you moving around a lot. You got to stay at that position until that stuff starts slowing down to you. We having such an issue with stopping the run, even though I never wanted to make that chess piece, that queen on the chessboard, Micah Parsons, into a linebacker. I think we need to lean on the current pass rush talent that we have because we still deep in that area, and we need to give him a lot of reps at linebacker because remember, when they first put him at linebacker in New England in 2021, he was fart. And I'm talking about Micah Parsons. I'm talking about fart. But then you left him out there and then let him get adjusted, let them coach him up from that film, and he came out against Minnesota and he balled. And if we getting ready for the playoffs, I'm starting to think we need to go ahead and just make the queen on the chessboard a bishop and a knight. Just keeping it real. Make him a linebacker, and that's how we got to go forward. Am I tripping?
4-2-5-3-4. What you talking about? 4 base? What you talking about? Which one? For Parsons.
Middle. Mostly middle, because with everything that you named, the middle would stay in. The 4-2, you know what I'm saying? All of that. The middle staying in on all of that.
Well, who's your Will or who's your Sam?
Well, your Will and the Sam go change based on the personnel of the offense that come out. Right.
See, now you got all these complications you're talking about now.
It's
who
not complicated. That's easy.
LV?
Actually. That's actually easily. No, LV, go sit his ass down. That's my whole point. Is go get somebody who.
They ain't gonna make that happen though.
I just talked about
they not gonna do it. I know they not gonna do it.
That's not what they gonna do.
Yeah, I know they not gonna do it. But I'm saying what I think they should do. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I know,
we all agree with that.
And this is the deal, because everybody was like, I kept seeing people say, why is Micah Parsons not coming off he's not rushing versus Green Bay? It wouldn't have mattered, because they was running the ball. They ran the ball 8 times in a row before Aaron threw his first pass. What would having him at the edge do? And the rest of these teams we getting ready to face, they watch the film. They getting ready to run the ball.
Right up the gut on us.
Yep.
And them edges, Dalvin Cook love them edges.
Yep. I think we need
Go ahead, OC.
I think we need to get our guy acclimated to linebacker, because we got strong rushing opponents coming and we got a hard playoffs coming, and I want that position settled by the time we hit the playoffs. Just me.
I think that you're right in part, Boss Cowboy. I think that it's situational. I think you give up too much of an elite pass rusher not to have him rushing in certain situations, and then you put all the onus on Tank Lawrence, which is better than advertised. You know, more he's better than he's been given credit for, to be honest, this year. I don't fully trust the maturity of Sam Williams, and I think that we got some other guys that can get some push, but elite, go get me a sack guy, that guy is still Micah Parsons. And so you have to situationally play him at linebacker, and situationally, without being too predictable, rush him as well. I think that's going to be his best utilization. Come on, for you. You go limp back, bro. You go limp back.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I ain't limping on this one.
Well, come on.
All right,
Come
man.
on.
And I mean, my idea finna win. But listen, just keeping it real. How he go get sacks if these quarterbacks throwing 20 times, OC?
He's done it before.
But what I'm saying is this. You said in the right situation, the situations that these offenses are presenting us with is forcing him to be a linebacker. If these teams go do like Green Bay, which likely they go do, they saw what beat us. You know they go aggressive to the run game. What use is having him as a pass rusher when these teams finna come out heavily running until we stop it? So if you go come out heavily running until we stop it, then we need to stop it first. To me, that means put Mike at linebacker.
Okay, let me give you some counterbalance. 2nd and long, 3rd and long, 3rd and medium. You just showed graphs, and you saw Justin Jefferson. You seen Adam Thielen, a really good route runner, intermediate and long route runner. Justin Jefferson, a 6, 7, 8, 9 route runner. Those routes take time to develop. Okay.
True.
And we know, based upon previous experience, and I'm talking about me and you, Boss Cowboy, in particular, I can't speak for Big or Law on this one, that Cousins does not respond favorably to pressure. So when they're in obvious passing situations, in order to get him off his spot and to have the best chance to win this game and to make him make mistakes, fumble the ball or sack him, you got to put some pressure on this guy. You can't let him sit back there in a clean pocket because he's too good for that. Cousins is too good for that. If he's back there in a clean pocket, he's going to eat you. So that's why I'm telling you.
I'm not saying put him in a clean pocket. See, of course we saying situational, but this is the deal. Do you really think they gonna come out throwing with long developing routes, given what we've been doing?
I think at some point they're coming to it. At some point they're going to it. Not originally, no.
And that's what I'm saying.
Watch.
Most of the game, so we saying the same thing. Of course we saying situational. If it's 3rd and long, of course you take Micah Parsons and you move him down there to get the quarterback.
Yeah.
But I'm saying over the majority of the game, I'm just thinking that we got a lot of run teams coming, and I want Michael ready for the playoffs because I don't trust what we got, and I don't trust that they go. I don't trust that they go do Clark right. I don't think they go give Clark his developmental reps. So I'd rather go with Michael right now for the playoffs.
Okay, well think about this as well, Boss Cowboy. Just to your point, Micah Parsons didn't play defensive ends. He wasn't able to hold up one of those edges. We gave up the edge quite a bit. Had Micah Parsons been down there at the defensive end position, I believe personally we would have held up better on one of those edges, Boss Cowboy, because those defensive ends. It didn't matter. They were pretty much getting hooked, and I feel like Micah Parsons is a good enough athlete, if we're talking about the run game, right, to actually force the cutback and blow up some of those plays coming right at him, because that was an issue versus Green Bay. So that's another thought, right, that you got to consider versus him just being only exclusively back off the ball, in my opinion.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
I agree with the OC, man. I agree with the OC, boss. You know.
You that to keep him as a pass rusher, mostly.
I think. Look, coming out of college, and I know you watched him coming out of college. He had a higher run rush grade than he did a pass rush grade, or run pursuit grade than he did a pass rush. The Cowboys didn't really utilize him as a pass rusher until D-Law got hurt. I think that his speed is still there. I look back at the tape, and I know you did. He can get to the runner. Right? I just think that they got him moving around at times too many places, and he got burned when he did play that Mike linebacker dropping into the hook, and he was trying to figure out where the quarterback was going with the ball. I think that wasted space at a 4-3 guy would have been better used as him blitzing off the edge and getting to Aaron Rodgers. Now, Sam Williams, he played majority of his career at Ole Miss as an outside linebacker. That's why he can set and contain and do great against the edge. I think that Sam Williams need to be utilized and get more snaps at this point, in my opinion. And I know I ate crow on Dorrance Armstrong. I can't regurgitate that now, but I can tell you that Dorrance Armstrong, he's not about that business as it relates to stopping the run, right? As well as the other guy, Fowler, and all of those boys. I think that you bring physicality and speed. I think that with Dan Quinn, you put this guy more in reps, we will pretty much have a better team on marginal against the run than what we've been playing like.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Big, you got something?
I mean, I feel with OC, and I like him as a pass rusher. I'm gonna just keep it real. The only thing I worry about is, when you watch him in the games, I wonder how we're tiring him out, because sometimes you're really having to rush the passer, then he's got to go back and he's got to play the run. That wears you out. Yep. I mean, you're talking about plays and guys rotating in and out. He's playing the majority of these plays, right, fellas?
64 last game.
He's playing the majority of these plays, and he's rushing the passer. Right. He's rushing the passer, and he's got to come back on there and play defense as far as playing that linebacker position. And they're running down those edges. That's going to wear him down. So I don't know. I think it's just got to be spot duty. I agree with OC, especially with the Kirk Cousins thing. If you watch him and you watch him in games, when he gets pressured, he's not good. He throws those interceptions when he gets knocked off his spot, and we want him to check. We want him to call him Captain Checkdown, right? He's Captain Checkdown when you're really putting a lot of pressure on him, and I think that can bode well for Dallas, because you don't want him to be able to get in that pocket and be able to chuck those 20, 30-yard passes down the field to Justin Jefferson. You want him checking down, and you can be able to swarm those type of plays, maybe get some plays. But I feel like that's the best way to do them. Send a lot of pressure. And I feel like they should do some timely blitzes against Minnesota. I think they should really come after him in this game, not be scared, not sit back. I think they really need to attack, and get after him to make him like not uncomfortable and not let him get in a rhythm in this game at all.
And real quick, do y'all remember what Micah Parsons played last time we played Minnesota?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
He played linebacker. And
He had like 10 tackles, didn't he?
He destroyed him. He destroyed him. I think you just got to repeat that. And so this is what I'll say. For now, long term, I would want them to start transitioning Micah to linebacker, but definitely short term. This game. Just repeat what you did last time. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a good feel for Minnesota. You know, I think he should play with a lot of confidence against Minnesota. And I think he gonna be key to really helping them stop that run attack. Because they go commit to it as well. They go commit to it too. And I want to say this about Minnesota. Minnesota is the only team, in my opinion, talent-wise, that gets close to the amount of talent that Dallas has. I still don't think they have as much talent as we do. I still don't. I still think we got a way better D. I think we got a way better pass rush. I think the receivers are better as a unit, but I think our quarterback is better. You know what I'm saying? I think our running back tandem is just as good or better than what they got. This is setting up for a dog fight. How we go beat them?
Well, as long as George Edwards, he's not going to dress up as the Zimmer or whoever as the form, because he used to coach over there in Vikings land. I hope George Edwards is not emotionally out of this situation. Look, just coach up these linebackers the best way possible. Let's play a sound football game. Y'all know I'm just throwing a little jab at Mike McCarthy. But we win this game. We score early and often. We control the TOP. We blitz Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will give you a few. So not one, but he will give you a few if you put pressure on him. And we can come out victorious if we just do our thing. Looking back at the Vikings, I don't think that they utilize a guy that runs a 4-3 or something like that, like Watson. And I think that our DBs, it's time. It's time for our DBs to show up and show up loud, and let's get it.
Yeah, I'm finna be messy real quick. Right.
Messy like I was with.
Oh no, I'm finna be real messy.
Petty.
Y'all get ready. Petty, I got you. I want to have a conversation real quick. Let me show y'all this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I told y'all, bro. It'll be messy, dog.
My brother called that out. He talked to me about it for an hour about that. And they put Justin Herbert on a pedestal, because they played the 49ers, and he said that
but
Josh.
Isn't this amazing?
He said Josh Allen had the same game that Dak had, and then nobody talking about it. He ain't even a Cowboys fan.
Not a peep. And he had a worse game. Worst, yeah. See, I get tired of people trying to treat and bully you for defending facts on your own quarterback. So, and I'm just being honest, I'm sick of the propaganda on our own quarterback. So let these people tell it. You're crazy if you pick Allen over Dak. You're just crazy. I would go with Herbert all day long without even thinking about it. What has Dak done? And then you actually look up the facts of the dudes who got the most interceptions since 2020, and Dak ain't even nowhere close on this list. And when you go look at the other side, Dak also be having more production in terms of touchdowns too. Remember last year, Dak had 37 touchdowns, which is equal to Aaron Rodgers. So I just listen, y'all. I'm telling y'all,
That's
I've
petty,
learned
man.
this.
You petty, man.
Yeah, I know I'm petty, but like I'm gonna say this and I mean this. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't like this new era of fandom. I can't stand it. I think it's soft. I think most of it is weak. It's selfish. It is unloyal. It is whack. And let me explain this. Yes, I did grow up in the 90s. Never in a million years, and I know Jerry Rice is better than Michael Irvin. Never would we ever say, ooh, if Dallas just had Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Like we do against our quarterback.
You're right.
If we just had, I would take Herbert. We would never even say it.
We wouldn't even say it. Jim Kelly.
We wouldn't even think it.
Burrito.
Aikman is good, but if we had Elway, what is wrong with y'all? I'm gonna say it to you. I ain't gonna hold back on you. I'm gonna say it. What is wrong with us?
Yeah.
What is wrong with us where you got Cowboy fans that'll check you for the facts that your quarterback is truly a top 5 to 6 or 7 quarterback? That's based on stats. That's based on data. That's based on consistency. That's based on years of information now.
Man, if Cowboys had Barry Sanders, man, ooh, Thurman Thomas.
If
Barry
we had
Foster.
Barry Sanders, what happened to us as men and women? What happened? Because OC, Big Law, when did we make a change and become these type of fans? We say stuff like, "Oh man, you know," and this is the thing. I'm just being honest. That's why I said I was finna be messy, but I'm just keeping it real. Why do we beg for stuff we can't have? Oh, man, I would take Aaron Rodgers in a heartbeat, because when I look over at Aaron Rodgers, he make the throws, and he not even making the throws. Ooh, if we had Herbert, man. Ooh, you married. You over here married, and you over here like, ooh, if I had Holly Berry, you can't have her, dog. Show some respect for your own wife.
Fantasy football,
you
man.
Weirdo. That's what West Coast said. Go ahead, Law.
Fantasy football to change the mindset of a lot of people, man, and sports betting.
Right.
And shout out to sports betting.
You're
I
right.
ain't trying to cut my legs off from under my feet. Or fantasy football. Shout out to fantasy football. But it has changed their hearts, man. People became fans of players versus fans of the team, and everybody think that it's easy to go to the Super Bowl every year, and they fail to realize the Rams just won the Super Bowl, right? It took them 20 years. They haven't been there since 1999, so or won it since 1999, because I know they've been to the Super Bowl to lose it, but the same drought that we have is the same drought that the San Francisco 49ers have, but longer, right? But Cowboy fan base, they think that, hey, we supposed to be in there every year. Your expectations was through the Jason Garrett years to be in the Super Bowl? Come on, man. It's just crazy how we operate as a team, and we can see the tea leaves, but it is what it is, man. Fantasy football, sports betting, all of that stuff.
I don't even think it. When I think about it, I don't think it's fantasy football. I just think we soft, Law.
Yeah.
I just think we soft, man. I think we are soft. And see, one of the comments said it was because we won in the 90s. It is not even because we won. I lived through the 90s. Even before we won a Super Bowl, we was not clamoring for our competitors. We wasn't doing that even before we won it. I put it like this. I like the Dallas Mavericks, and I knew we wouldn't go beat Chicago, but you never heard me say, ooh, if Dallas just had Jordan. I didn't even do it with Jordan. We wanted to beat Jordan. We wasn't over here like, oh, if we just had him. That's all I'm saying, bro. I just think we got to just tell these dudes to their face, you soft. For all of you people that covered other quarterbacks, you are soft. Soft. S-O-F-T. You're soft. And you're unloyal. soft. I would never, ever, ever have a conversation ever about, ooh, if we could have Herbert. Ooh, if we just could, all of us, if we just had Allen.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't gonna never hear me say that. Allen way better than my quarterback. Even if it was kind of true, you ain't gonna never hear me say it. That's all I'm gonna say. So final words.
Man, so I'll go first on this one. The Cowboys have the opportunity, man, to make a statement versus a really good team and to give themselves confidence on the back end of this season. And I think that's what they really need to do. They need to come in here with a mentality to be extremely physical. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bounce back physical game. Kellen has to stick with the run. 3 tight end sets, 2 tight end sets, traditional pro style offensive set. Force the Vikings to stop the run. Force them to stop the run. And if they can't stop the run, don't ever abandon the run. Defensively, I'm interested to see our run fits. I'm interested to see how physical our line and linebackers play downhill, because they're going to have to play downhill and inside and out to stop this zone concept and the zone stretch and also the zone toss concept that the Minnesota Vikings has. If we put pressure on Kirk Cousins, which I believe is the number one priority in this game outside of our run fits, we come away winning this game. So that's my final word.
And
that's a great final word. Let me go before you, boss. Let me go before you, because that was a great final word by OC. Great. I didn't mean to cut you off, boss. That was a great final word by OC. And I love OC because he's so professional and how he speak and how he's so positive with everything. But now I'm going to come in and I'm like, no.
Smash.
OC is right at everything he says, but I ain't listening to that ish no more, man. I told you that's why you don't drink the Kool-Aid with this team. You know why? Because in 195 games, in the 62-year history, this has never happened except now. That's why. That's why I don't drink no Kool-Aid with this team. We set records the wrong way. We set all kind of records the wrong way. We get wrong records, and I'm just not hearing it. Like, whatever, Cowboys. This is how I feel about y'all. Whatever. And that's my final word.
It's my final word.
Yeah.
God dog. I am truly week to week now. I'm truly weak. Big has been right on everything he's been saying.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say week by week. I do try to look forward and try to project what could happen based on where we are. But I'm forced to now think week to week. I trust Dan Quinn. I have a feeling that all this energy we gave Dan Quinn is getting ready to be for nothing. I think he gonna make the adjustments. I think he always do. Big, you remember the last time we complained about how he was using Tank and he stopped the next week and never went back? Remember how we was talking about how Tank was playing too much interior and he stopped? Now he's still being cute, but I trust him to make the right adjustments a lot faster than Kellen Moore. But it's week to week. But I do still think that we lucky. Lucky from this standpoint. We actually lucky we lost. And I mean that. We lucky we lost because now it's a lot of tension on the option routes. It's a lot of tension and facts that Kellen Moore abandoned the run when it made no sense. It's forcing us to keep our eyes on him like I knew we needed to do the whole season. So as my final word, I'm going to say, hey, man, I'm going to enjoy the whole process. I'm going to enjoy the up and down roller coaster of the season. And I'm going to still hope that we can get hot at the right time. But I am honestly seeing signs of typical Dallas Cowboy decisions that could hurt us at the end. But I'm going to be hopeful and just hopefully we can pull it out. But we not really showing the right signs at this current moment. Hopefully
keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
I love boss. Keep hope alive, dog.
Got to.
Keep it alive.
Yeah, it's
Come see me at the end of the year, though. We gonna talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't, and I'm almost finished with my final word. I just don't like the fact that it's not enough pressure on Kellen Moore. It's just not. The only people that you hear really put the pressure on him heavily and strong is us. You don't hear nobody consistently just really calling him out. The only people that's calling him out is people on social media and us. People might mention him, but they don't give him the due attention that he needs to be a responsible play caller. And until you put the pressure on him, he's not gonna change. That's my final word.
That's a great final word from all three of y'all. You know, every game is pivotal, man. We're still in third place in this division. Shout out to the Washington team to knock down the Eagles just a little bit, but we still got to take care of business. Last week, we lost a game that we clearly should have won, but we got emotions in the way, we got clouded judgments, and we had some pitfalls. But it's not about to get easy. This is a war of attrition in November. Keep this in mind. Write this down, Cowboy Nation. We have 3 games in 12 days. Let me repeat. We have 3 games in 12 days. And normally I say we try to get 2 out of the 3, but at this point we're not in the liberty to get 2 out of the 3. We got to get 3 out of the 3 if we want to keep up with what we at right now. This team playing against the Minnesota Vikings, a good chess match. They got a tempting defense, right? I heard when Patrick Peterson, was a free agent, he really wanted to pick a team to solidify his career, and he looks at it like a lot of people think that he's washed up. So he playing with an edge or chippy. The other guy that's the edge rusher that we could have picked up during the offseason, Zadarius, I believe his name. He's phenomenal this year. So we got to be ready. We got to be lock-loaded. I think if we take care of business and just understand, like you guys said, a week-to-week basis, let's not think too far down the line. Let's figure out a way to get off and get this win. Kirk Cousins, be our fourth cousin, man. Pass those pick sixes. Get this thing going, Cowboy Nation. That's my thoughts for the final word. Let's play aggressive. Let's play with tenacity. Let's score and stop turning over the ball. Dak Prescott, if you don't trust CeeDee Lamb, then go to your safety secure blanket, because you talked about the 90s, boss. Big Game James, DOC. There was a guy that wore 84. And he was Mr. Third Down. It was Big J Novacek. So establish that, utilize that, and let's get this thing going the best way possible.
Let's get it, man.
Be ready for the refs. I see y'all. Be ready for the refs.
Get some rhythm.
Yeah. I just wanna run it up. Kind of check or something.
It's a big game, y'all. This is gonna be a playoff game. We could see it with this playoff game.
Hot pocket, that's what you call it.
Hot pocket.
Use them hot pockets.
Kind of check or
Let's
something.
fill you up.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
The least expected.
Count that too, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside.
Let's go.